Mastering the 83 essential knowledge in the College Board exam description is the key to acing the MCQ section. But most high school teachers don't cover them in class at all, and most students don't even know what essential knowledge is. They think it's a list of rhetorical choices and logical fallacies. It's not. Today, let me walk you through what I think is the single most important essential knowledge. You need it for the MCQ and you need it for the sophistication point on your essays. Hey everyone, welcome to or welcome back to CT's AP Cookies. Over the past 7 years, I've helped hundreds of international students score a 5 on AP Lang. Whether you're struggling with commentary, running out of time, or just don't know what you're doing wrong, I'm here to help. I've studied this test inside out so you don't have to. The essential knowledge I am covering today involves qualification, a statement or assertion that makes another less absolute. A qualified claim is the opposite of an absolute claim. And there are 3 essential knowledge related to qualification. Essential knowledge number 1. Because arguments are usually part of ongoing discourse, effective arguments often avoid expressing claims, reasoning, and evidence in absolute terms. Essential knowledge number 2. Writers may strategically use words, phrases, and clauses as modifiers to qualify or limit the scope of an argument. Essential knowledge number 3. A lack of understanding of the complexities of a subject or an issue can lead to oversimplification or generalizations. If you've watched my video on why some argument essays are doomed from the very beginning, you already know what qualification is. You just don't know it's called that. Let me give you a quick recap. I talked about how you should use the valid when X but invalid when Y structure to build your thesis and line of reasoning. You can click the top right corner to revisit that video. That structure is a qualified claim. The absolute version of the claim would be the claim in the prompt is valid or the claim in the prompt is invalid. It's either or. But the qualified version identifies the nuance and complexity of the issue. Let me give you more examples. Take this absolute claim. Grammar mistakes will cost you points on AP Lang essays. If you've watched my previous video where I debunked 2 AP Lang myths, you already know this isn't true. But now you know why it isn't true. It's an absolute claim. And absolute claims are easy to disprove. All you need is one student who misspelled a few words and still got a 6 for their essay. And trust me, those students exist. I've seen their essays. So let's qualify it with a word. Grammar mistakes can cost you points on AP Lang essays. Now the claim allows for the possibility without the certainty. One word and it's already harder to argue against. Or qualify with a phrase. Grammar mistakes in some cases cost you points on AP Lang essays. Now the reader is thinking, which cases? You've created a question that your argument can answer. Qualify with a clause. Grammar mistake costs you points on AP Lang essays when the errors are severe enough to prevent the reader from understanding your argument. Now, this claim is precise, and honestly, that AP reader probably winced at every misspelled word in your essay. But if they could still follow your argument, the rubric says they have to give you the 4th point for evidence and commentary. Their feelings don't override the scoring rubric. Notice what happened. The absolute version is the myth, the qualified version is the reality, and it's exactly what the rubric says. You're not weakening your argument by the qualification. You're strengthening your argument by showing you understand the complexity of the issue. And that is what separates a nuanced argument from an oversimplification. Now, let's look at how qualification is tested in the MCQ section. Here's a question from the passage we practiced in another video. The writer wants to add a sentence after sentence 12 to qualify the claim that adequate sleep improves student performance. Which of the following sentences best accomplishes this goal? As I read the question, I'm already anticipating what the correct answer looks like. To qualify adequate sleep improves student performance, you can qualify different parts of the claim. You can qualify the verb. Adequate sleeps sometimes improve student performance. One word and the claim is no longer absolute. You can also qualify the scope. For example, adequate sleep improves the performance of the vast majority of students. Now it doesn't apply to every student. If you sleep 9 hours a day but never do your homework, sleep alone won't save your grades. Or you can add a condition. Adequate sleep, when coupled with a healthy diet, improves student performance. Now, let's look at the choices. Choice A, however, sleep is not the only factor that influences academic success, as study habits and teaching quality also play significant roles. Choice A works like my second example. It acknowledges the claim is valid but not absolute. Sleep helps, but sleep alone isn't the magic pill. Now, many students get stuck between choice A and C. Choice C says, nevertheless, some students perform well academically despite chronic sleep deprivation, suggesting individual variation in sleep needs. It looks like a qualification because it seems to be saying sleep doesn't improve every student's performance, which is similar to how I qualified the scope earlier. But look at what choice C is actually doing. It's not limiting the claim, it's challenging the underlying evidence. Some students perform well despite chronic sleep deprivation suggests that the link between sleep and performance might not exist for certain people. That doesn't qualify the claim. It undermines it. A qualification says yes, but not in every case. But C is saying maybe the whole premise is wrong for some students. There's a difference between saying sleep isn't the only factor and saying sleep might not even be a factor. Choice A does the first and choice C does the second. The correct answer is A. C, as I explained, undermines the claim rather than qualifying it. B expands the argument to extracurriculars. That's extending, not qualifying. Choice D introduces a new argument about too much sleep. That's a tangent. Choice E adds more benefits of sleep. That is strengthening, the opposite of qualifying. To qualify is to acknowledge the limits. To strengthen is to add more support. To extend is to broaden the scope. College Board is testing whether you know the difference. Great, let's look at another question. The writer is considering deleting sentence 20 reproduced below from the passage. Therefore, all high schools should immediately implement an 8:30 a.m. or later start time to ensure students receive the sleep they need. Should the writer keep or delete sentence 20? To tackle this question, the key is to read sentence 19 carefully. Schools must carefully weigh all the stakeholders' concerns while keeping student well-being at the center of the decision. That is a qualified claim. Sentence 19 acknowledges multiple perspectives, and language like carefully weigh and all stakeholders' concerns avoids being absolute. Now let's reread sentence 20. Therefore, all high schools should immediately implement an 8:30 a.m. or later start time. Notice the language. All high schools immediately should. That is an absolute claim. Sentence 19 says, let's be nuanced about this. And sentence 20 says, just do it right now, no exceptions. The conclusion contradicts the reasoning that comes right before it. The correct answer is D, deleted, because its absolutist conclusion contradicts the more nuanced reasoning in sentence 19. This is exactly what the essential knowledge warns about. A lack of understanding of the complexities of a subject can lead to oversimplifications or sweeping generalizations. Sentence 20 oversimplifies. It throws away all the nuance sentence 19 just built. So, if you see an absolute claim in a writing multiple choice passage, your brain should be sounding an alarm and anticipate a question asking you to qualify it or delete it. Now, I want to show you one more question because I don't want you walking away thinking qualification only means avoid being absolute. It can also mean modify. Let's look at this question. I understood my grandmother perfectly, or at least I thought I did, and I loved her in my own clumsy way. In the above sentence, the qualifying phrases, or at least I thought I did, and in my own clumsy way, primarily serve to qualify. Notice there is no argument here. This is a writer reflecting on a memory. It's not a debate. So qualification isn't about making a claim less absolute. It's about making a description more precise. I understood my grandmother perfectly. That is a clean, confident statement. But the phrase, or at least I thought I did, adds a layer of self-awareness. The writer is looking back from adulthood and admitting that her childhood understanding might not have been as complete as it felt at the time. She's not taking back the claim, she's adjusting it. Same thing with I love her in my own clumsy way. She's not qualifying whether or not she loved her grandmother. She absolutely did. She's qualifying now. The love was real but imperfect, the way a child's love often is. The correct answer is A. The phrase modified the writer's claims about her understanding of and affection for her grandmother. Now, many students would pick E, the reliability of the writer's childhood memory. The problem is the writer clearly remembers understanding her grandmother and loving her. She's not saying, I can't remember, or maybe this did not happen. The memories are intact. What she's adjusting is her assessment of herself with those memories. Or at least I thought I did means I remember feeling like I understood her completely, but looking back, I probably did not. Her memory is reliable. Her young self's judgment is being questioned. Think of it this way. If you watch a home video of yourself at age 5 confidently explaining how airplanes fly, the video is reliable. That definitely happened. But your 5-year-old explanation of aerodynamics, probably not accurate. You'd qualify your understanding, not the reliability of the video. That's exactly what the writer is doing. She trusts the memory, she just doesn't trust her childhood self's ability to fully understand what was happening in it. That's choice A, modifying a claim about understanding, not choice E, questioning whether the memory is real. So remember, qualify doesn't always mean make a claim less absolute. It can be synonymous with modify. The AP exam tests both, so don't let the word qualify trick you into looking for an argument when there isn't one. Okay, that's qualification for you. Once you know what to look for, I promise you qualification MCQs will become so easy that you can spot the right answer in 5 seconds. But qualification isn't just an MCQ trick. It's a habit that sharpens critical thinking. So try this. Practice qualifying claims you encounter in daily life, in the news, in conversations, in your own essays. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes on exam day and the closer you are to the sophistication point. And if you're struggling with essays and want personalized feedback, I offer essay review services. Check the link below for more details. Thanks for watching. See you next class.